coming from Mara. Please don't respond.
Yes, please. Seven overall.
Hello everyone, good evening. Hi everyone, good evening. First of all, a very happy friendship to all of you.
Yay! Same to you.
I am Priyanshu Bhatri and I will be starting it up for today's meeting. I welcome you all to the 42nd meeting of Bright Heart Toastmaster Club. Toastmaster International is a non-profit organization which helps and build communication skills both in personal and professional life. Members deliver speeches, practice impromptu speaking, and receive feedback in a supportive environment. Founded in 1924 with over 270,000 members spread across 150 plus countries. Before starting the meeting, I'll lay down few of the ground rules which we follow in our meeting. Please switch off your mobile phone or keep them in silent mode. I'll give you 10 seconds to do that. Please give me a thumbs up once done. As Toastmasters, we are advised to please be mindful when talking about sex, religion, or politics, because these are very sensitive topics. Please do not cross talk while the speaker is speaking on stage. Please do not move inside the hall or enter or exit the hall whenever the speaker is speaking. If you wish to do so, please do so during the applause. Speakers who are coming to the stage are advised to follow handshake or fist bump. Before coming on the stage, mics are kept there. Please clip it up. It's very easy. Online audience is requested to switch on their video and keep their mic on mute. The restrooms are available. Exit the room, take left, walk down the alley, you will find the rest. Refreshments will be available during the time of break. Today's meeting carries the spirit of Friendship Day. A reminder that learning becomes easier and growth becomes joyful when you have friends around you who support you. And if there is one place where friendships are formed, nurtured, and celebrated, it's here in Bright Hearts. Can you all agree to this?
Yes.
Now it's time to introduce presiding officer for the day. She's a true Toastmaster champion. She's a winner of International Speech Contest, Table Topic Contest, and a first runner-up of Evaluation Contest in District 92. She's also the conference co-chair for Crescendo 2026 and a proud president of Bright House Toastmaster Club. Apart from this, she is very calm, ever smiling person you could ever find in Bright House. She's a person who's a friend of every Bright Heart member present in this room. Please help me welcome Queen of Bright Hearts.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Priyansh. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
I love how the red card went up and Priyansh forgot my name. That's how distracting the red card can sometimes get. Well, to start us off today, firstly, happy Friendship Day, everyone.
Happy Friendship Day.
Very nice. I love how we still celebrate this spirit. Immediately takes me back to my school days, where we would buy friendship bands and then give it to our friends. How many of you bought friendship bands in school? Oh God, some normal kids and then some abnormal kids who are like, I only get friendship bands. Like our children evaluator. Right, okay, let's get started. We have a few guests in the room today, so we would like to hear from our guests and know them better. For every guest who comes on stage, you can tell us your name, what you do, and how did you get to know about Bright Hearts. So, Rohit, shall we start with you?
Everyone, I hope I'm audible. Yeah, yes. Hi, everyone. Happy Friendship Day to all. I'm Rohit. Uh, I'm working in Shell as a principal data engineer, and I'm living nearby only Control Road. And this is my second visit as a guest. Uh, and I earlier it was a different group. I'm not sure this probably there are two groups in HSR. So yeah, so I just have been invited, or rather, I've been added as a member in the WhatsApp. So that's how I got to know. Yeah, and eager to meet and probably participate as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rohit. Initially, when I started off, I wouldn't really understand what principal data engineer meant. I used to think, oh, some principal or some data engineering college. But my brother comes from the technology field, and then he one day explained to me how principal data engineer is such a big shot. So are you, Rohit? So now I get what the role is. But there are two groups, that is right, HSR Club, which meets on Saturdays, and Bright Hearts, which meets on Sundays. And I can assure you that you've chosen the best group today. We are going to make sure you feel the same way by the end of the meeting. Next, shall we have you, Atul? Yeah.
Is it all? Yeah.
Yes.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdul. So I hail from Kerala and I've been in Bangalore from past 10 years. I got to know about Toastmasters in general from my younger brother, who is a Toastmaster himself. Currently he's outside, but then he's the person who actually introduced me to this sort of gathering. And I mean, my idea was that, okay, you said that you like it. So that's when I thought, okay, I'll come and try out. And I've been attending other Toastmaster club here, the HSR club, from quite some time as a guest. I never had the courage to be, to at least to initiate that talk of, can you consider me as a member or something? But then, I mean, the thing is that I'm here now, and I think I want to try out both. Thought that Bright Hearts is also a very good, club here in HSR. So I wanted to check it out. I was happy to see Money here as well. So it's a great thing, and I believe it will help me a lot in being a better communicator. So thanks a lot for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Atul. I have always believed that younger siblings are usually very smart because I'm younger. But this time, your younger sibling is absolutely right. I think anybody who walks into Toastmasters would usually like it. And of course, Bright Hearts is not only very good, but in a couple of minutes, I'll tell you how good. And of course, money is omnipresent. So I'm glad you found it here. And then, shall we have you? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ajinkya, and I'm from Maharashtra. Living in Bangalore for about 4 years now. I'm an engineer and loving Bangalore's weather for the last 4 years. Still continue to do. And I had attended one Toastmasters. I had done that online digitally. And just for a change, I had went to an international Toastmasters of US just to see. And after that, this is now the first time I'm actually physically being here. Loving it, love the energy.
Thank you, Ajinkya. We all agree with you. We all love Bangalore's weather, unless it's raining at 3:30 on a Sunday. Generally, we all love it. And of course, I agree that you attended an international club online, but I can assure you this national club in person today will give you a much better flavor. Welcome to the meeting. And lastly, we have you.
Hello all. Happy Friendship Day to all of you. I'm Pallavi. I'm working as a senior software engineer at Cognizant. It's my second visit to this Toastmaster Club. Whenever I'm in Bangalore, I love to visit this club. And yesterday I've been my friend. And thankfully I did take me here. So I'm fortunate for that. Thank you so much. And I can feel the energy I'm feeling so good here and I hope you all feel the same. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Pallavi, for joining us. You are still as sweet as you were the previous time you came. And this time, thankfully, your friend agreed. But now you wish all of us happy Friendship Day. So we are all your friends. So next time your friend doesn't agree, you can just call us. And we'll ensure you're welcome. But thank you. And we see we have a few more guests who've trickled in. We will connect with you over the networking break and come back to you to take feedback towards the end. On that note, we'll get started on today's meeting. Food Foster. How many of you understood the meaning right now? Congratulations to our Toastmaster of the day. Her aim was to ensure that everybody is confused so that when she comes on stage and delivers, whatever she says, you have to agree that was the meaning. But in my little head, this is what I figured. I'm going to share with you what I thought was about this theme. How many of you here think I am slightly intelligent? Yeah, thank you. Others think I'm dumb. Oh my God, so many people. Sorry. Yeah, the answer is lie. Of course, some think I'm slightly intelligent. Intelligent. Shah, so reassuring. Shah and Ayush are like, no, even to me, you're very intelligent. But thank you. So I'm going to assume I'm very intelligent. But for the ones who thought I'm slightly intelligent, let's do a game of Sudoku after the meeting. Now we test. We test 2-1. Right. But whatever you think, I have a friend who calls me once in 3 months. And the first 5 minutes, all she tells me is how stupid I am because I didn't call her for the last 3 months. So whenever she calls me, the first 5 minutes is her scolding me outright. She goes on 5 minutes non-stop, telling me everything of how I am disastrous as a friend. And after 5 minutes, we start talking, and that conversation lasts for 2 hours. This is a friend I've known since kindergarten for the more than 2.5 decades now. And what I figured through this journey of our friendship is that she demands for time. She wants all the attention. She's the only person under the sun who can scold me that much without being scolded back. And at times you might think from outside that she's so annoying and irritating. But she's been my best friend for the last 2.5 decades. And this is one person I'm extremely proud of. And one thing she's taught me in life is that friends can sometimes be just like your parents. They can sometimes be very annoying. Sometimes might have habits that you might wonder how on earth did they pick up that habit. Sometimes can demand for your time, sometimes for your attention. But primarily, they make life worth it. They make life as beautiful as it is today. And they teach us that not all relations have to be blood relations. There are some we make here, and they make our lives beautiful for them. So that's what I understand from this theme, that at times your friends might be worse than your foes, but they are the ones who foster you, nurture you, and make you the human that you are today. So wishing all of you once again a very happy Friendship Day. And on that note, it is now time to introduce this individual from our club. She works in the field of clinical research, and she said she leads a team of SMEs, and her top or subject matter is oncology. Now, if I've got any of this wrong, that is her fault. She is one of our newest member, but doesn't feel new anymore. That is the type of charm she brings. That is how proactive she is, and that is the type of rapport she's built with everybody in this club. She's an absolute bubbling ball of energy, and we love having her in our club. Ladies and gentlemen, to tell you all about Friendship Day, please give it up for our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Living in Yes, you may sing along if you know the lyrics. I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. Hi everyone, good evening. So I know it is Friendship Day. Everybody has been going on saying about the glory about our Friendship Day, right? But at Right Hearts, we do things differently. So today I'll be bringing up the flip side of friendship. And I think now I can assertively say that Arundhati is the most intelligent because general evaluator, please note, she got the theme. Oh. So, yes, coming back. Yes. So basically, we do know, right? We've always glorified friendships since childhood. We know that most of us have heard that friends are the family that we are not born into. The sisterhood or brotherhood that comes from another set of parents. But then when you think about it, there is some labor involved in that relationship also. If you think about it, sometimes we have to become the unpaid therapist for it. The labor of love turns into unpaid labor, where the benefits are the aim takes burnout and zero PTOs. Sometimes the jealousy creeps in, your circle expands, and then you have more number of people coming in. So the older ones feel like, okay, are we drifting apart? And then it's a constant cycle of reassurance and then soothing words, where we end up thinking, is it actually a relationship or a friendship? At times, when we drift apart or we move countries or places, then it ultimately ends up becoming just thumbs up or likes on Instagram stories and posts. So kind of friendship also has these flip sides coming in, and that is where we realize that this is also like any kind of relationship, something which requires your efforts. So that is where the flip side of friendship comes in. Now, keeping that thought in your mind, let me just introduce the agenda for today's meeting. So for the benefit of guests, today we will have three sections. The first will be a prepared speech. So 3 of our members will come onto the stage with their prepared speech in the pathway that they have chosen in Toastmasters. Following that, today we have a very interesting section, which is the quiz master would be taking a quiz on the newsletter. Our dear ExCom members have painstakingly worked on an informative and fun newsletter, which obviously, so it is they are assessing if we have actually at least glanced to them. So there will be a quiz master and quiz session on a newsletter, followed by 15 to 20 minutes tea break. After that, we will again rejoin, and then during this time, we will go ahead with the table topic section today, which is the Convo Master, or the Convo Master would be taking up the section. If you all notice, you have a bit of set of papers given to you. So please go through that whenever you get time, and then the Convo Master will be taking up section based on that set of papers given. So this is the agenda of the meeting. And now I will hand over the stage to the general evaluator. Okay, sorry. Before that, the final would be the general evaluator to be spearheading the evaluation section, where all evaluators would be coming up and giving their feedback on the prepared speeches. Now, I shall call upon this one person who has not yet become my foe, but who will be becoming post this meeting. The man who usually has like if you have heard his voice, you can recognize him from far away that okay, this is that person. The most quote unquote eligible married man in the
That's it.
sorry, most eligible married man. Yes, I'm so sorry, girls. Please take note. Married. So give it up for our general evaluator of the day, Vishnu Pradeep.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, for that lovely introduction and for that stress which you made that I'm married. Good evening, Bright Hearts, Toastmasters, dear guests.
Good evening.
Happy Friendship Day. How many of in this room understood the theme? I was also a little bit confused when I was reading the title and the description. But today, after coming here with our president helping the TMOD to understand that really well, I clearly understood the theme. Thank you so much. My role today is as general evaluator. So general evaluator's job is to evaluate the whole proceedings of this meeting, starting from pre-day of this meeting, like when the moment the agenda is rolled out till the moment when the meeting gets closed. Am I going to do it alone? No, I've got a team to do this. I've got a tag team. It's called as timer, R-counter, creativity. Today, it is tag's team. There is an additional guest to it, which is a special role that is a sketcher. With that, let me welcome the timer for today, Toastmaster Malam.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am your timer today. My role is to be the friendly foe, yes. The foe posters, roles with time management. I will be using the normal views that we usually do. The green card, the yellow card, the red card. For the speakers, time is between 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll be showing the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. For evaluators, the time is between 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll be showing the green card. 2.5 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. And for Convo Master, for conversation that, for the next conversation, yeah. For conversation speed, again, it's 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll be showing the green card. 2.5 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card. And 3 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. I will present the report when called upon by the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Malam, for that detailed description. Just in addition to what Malam said, there is a buffer of 30 seconds on top of whatever timing Malam just mentioned. With that, let's move to our counter for today. Welcome, Toastmaster Akash.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Since today is a friendship day, and I'd like to talk about that one honest friend who always gives like
corrects us whenever we go wrong. By not like, not to embarrass us, but so that we can improve ourselves and make sure we don't repeat the same mistakes again. Like I said, I'll be taking up a similar role today as I'm your accountant. So I'll be noticing, I'll I'll be noticing the CRP of words, where C stands for such words, R stands for repetitives, P stands for pauses, and F stands for filler words. C such words, for example, like etc. R stands for repetitives like rapo and rapo, etc. P stands for pauses like long pauses during the phrase movements, and H stands for filler words like actually, physically. And I'll be presenting my report when I enter the value and consequence state. And
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Akash. Next, we have our Premier for today. We have together to welcome Premier Toastmaster Tarun.
So as Remedian for meeting number 42, I'll be closely watching each of the speakers, especially when it comes to the usage of language. I'll take note of outstanding words, catchphrases, poetic lines of any flavor, along with any improper usage of grammar. I will be your coach that fosters your grasp on grammar for this day. So as Remedian, I am interested with introducing to you the word of the day. So the word of the day is rapid. Please note that when you pronounce the last two alphabets, R and T, are silent. It is a noun, which means close and trust, with a close relationship with mutual understanding and trust. So an example usage would be a speaker quickly built rapport with the audience to whom. All right, when each speaker comes onto the stage, I will encourage them to use this word, and I will request the audience to acknowledge its usage on stage with a thumbs up. So when the general evaluator calls upon the stage for the grammarian's report to be established, I will be back with my observations on usage of the word of the day, along with the good as well as the not so good suboptimal usages of grammar. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tarun. With that, let me move to the final team member from my team, which is the wonderful role, which is a sketcher role. For that, let me welcome Toastmaster Sneha.
Dear Toastmasters and guests, happy Friendship Day to all of you. And happy Friendship Day. So we all know that friendships are sometimes messy, sometimes colorful, but always meaningful. So this is very similar to sketching. So armed with my sketch pens, I will be making sketches, very colorful sketches of some highlight-worthy moments that happened on stage. And you will have to help me identify who has spoken about that particular sketch. So I will be coming back on stage once called upon by the general evaluator. So please watch out.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sneha. That's all from my side. I'll be coming back with my report towards the end of this meeting. This is Tag Roll and I signing off for just now. Back to you, Toastmaster.
the evaluators and the TANS team for that wonderful introduction. And also going on saying about friendship day, but then yes, some of it would be the force who fostered, as one of you clearly said. So before we begin the prepared speech section, let's play a game, right? Like, because we are talking about force, and whenever we have force in our mind, there are always these commonly known pairs. Like if you think about Ram and Mr. Foe, right? So always everybody has that connection. So likewise, I have created riddles. So whenever I had a PPT present during me presented, sadly it's not working. So it'll be me calling out the like me saying the riddle, and if you know the answers, please raise your hand, and then we can take it from there. So the first riddle, and I think so. Yeah, this is a mix of all sorts, right? Like it could be cartoons, it could be real life people, it could be football clubs, it could be countries. So make wild guesses, have fun. So first riddle. One chases with cloth, the other with cheese. Their battles are classic, no moment of peace. Who is this cat and mouse pair? Always at war, yet always there. My mentor will not get a chance. He didn't see. Okay, Shinshu.
Tom and Jerry.
Yay! Tom and Jerry, everybody's childhood best frenemy pair, rather, right? Like your school days were never complete without watching the cartoon. So the first one is correct. Coming to the second one. Now this is a bit dark. So one wears a mask to save the night. The other paints smile to give us fright. Opposites clash in Gotham's game. Can you guess this legendary name? Yes. Yes, awesome. DC comic fans, this is easy, right? Gotham, anybody can guess. So Batman and Joker, the classic pair. Now, something for the Marvel fans. I honestly don't know these comics, but then for the benefit of for the crowd favorites, so yes, here it goes. He snapped his fingers to make half disappear, but the heroes teamed up without any fear. Who is the bad guy with the big purple chin? And the group who fought hard just to win. Ashna. Thanos, right? Yes. So I hope all of you have just warmed up to the game. Now, but before we proceed further, let me first call out the evaluator before the prepared speech. This evaluator, when she's not part of Toastmasters, moonlights as a pretty ghost in the nether world, and also it's an influencer in the ghost world. So please welcome Usha to introduce the first prepared speaker.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Friendship Day to all.
Good evening. Good evening.
So today, my target speaker is going to attempt his level 2 speech 3, and title is Even Ants Don't Walk Alone. So even ants have a great friendship with America as well. It also means, so the purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envision mentoring. The purpose of the speech is for the member to also share some aspect of previous experience as a project. So with this, I would like to give the best wishes to my target speaker, and I'll come with my report at the end when called upon by the general evaluator.
Before I welcome the first speaker, there's yummy man. Ultimately, I hope there's no portion place here. I will not be booked for the same. But so, who kind of showed us all his pets and lands in the Club Cabana trip? Father Pache.
Think of the scariest flick of your life. Maybe
clicking the submit button of your important exam, like JEE, NEET, or UPSC, or maybe clicking confirm payment button of flight ticket that you cannot afford to cancel. How many of us would have been? Most of us. For me, clicking the button that will deploy my code to the production was scary. It was August 2023. I joined as a backend developer at Navi, and this was my first project. I built a small feature, fetching a file from AWS S3, parsing in Java Spring Boot, and storing in Elasticsearch. In theory, very simple. But in practical, it felt like I was launching a rocket from Sarjapur Junction to Mars. I triple checked my code, even prayed the god of AWS. And when I hovered to that deployment button, I felt like I was diffusing a hidden bomb inside Rameshwaram camp. At this moment, I looked outside my window and I noticed a line of ants, confident, focused, and in sync. Even one of them was carrying a crumb, and rest of them just followed. At this moment, I realized that I am an overpaid human and paralyzed by a deployment button. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and dear guest.
Good evening.
That day, I learned a lesson that I will never forget. Ants are better at teamwork than most of the tech team. And this is the story of my mentor, who teach me how not to behave like headless chicken and behave like an ant. Rajiv, my mentor, senior software engineer, a kind of guy who can solve the production outrage even during earthquake without spilling his cup of filter coffee. He just noticed me whole week and also observed that how I used to get alert even when I listen the word production. I was like a scared scribble in an office card, or maybe a single ant who lost his trail. Then comes the day of deployment. Our Slack channel says, minor change, nothing major. But for me, it was a nuclear launch. I opened my AWS console, and when I worked the deployment button, my heart was even louder than AC. And then I felt the presence of my mentor just behind me, Raj, calm and silent. He helped me when my imposter syndrome held a knife at my throat. He just gave me a nod. He did not teach me a lesson. He did not hold my mouse. He just gave a normal nod. A nod. That says, you have done your work. Be confident and click it. I just clicked it. Silence. No alarm. No Slack pings. The world was spinning as it was. And my mentor Rajiv gave me a smile and a gentle tap on my shoulder and just walk away like another Tuesday. That gentle tap was my promotion. The moment I realized I belong here and I can do this. As I exhaled and watched out of my window, I saw the same line of ants carrying a heavy crumb effortlessly together. And I realized I had just carried my scrum. I deployed my first feature just because someone helped me. You know, when ants find a food, they do not podcast about it. They just leave the trail and work as a team. That's what my mentor Rajiv did for me. did not handhold me. He did not give me any lecture. He just walked beside me until I could walk alone. Thanks to him, I stopped trying to look smart and actually started to learn, grow, and ask questions. And now, when someone is scared of deployment or debug logs, I do not say figure out by yourself. Rather, I say let's tackle it together. Because even ants don't walk alone. Why should we? Thank you.
That was such an inspiring speech, Madhur, and usually carry 10 times of their weights, and then they always, as you said, leave a trail and help find food for the others also. So I think that is something the modern world needs to help the other humans. So that was really inspiring. So before we go on to the next speech, let me again come back with my riddles. Just for the football fans here, again, not my forte, but here I go. Red is their color, pride is their name. Their battles are here in football's great game. One from Old Trafford, one by the Merseyside. Name these two clubs with history and pride. Yeah, awesome. Most of us might guess. One gave us Pele, the king with a crown. The other gave the man who gave us the hand of God. In yellow and blue, they battle with pride. Which two football giants stand side by side? Are you guys already raised their hands? This is Think Football, Think World Cup. Yes, Raj Varghese.
Argentina and Brazil.
Awesome. Now something coming from football into the imaginary world. One is a boy who lived with lightning on his head. The other brings fear, dark magic, and dread. Their fates are in a prophecy told. Name this young wizard and the villain fold. Science I'm not even looking at your side. So well. Yes. Okay. Now on to the second prepared speech. Before that, let me call out the evaluator, the Gen Z of Bright Hearts. She's sassy, also she's cool. Only flip side, she forgets to sometimes respond to texts. Please welcome Arna Gupta onto the stage. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening. It's a nice gloomy weather. And a special good evening to a man who has no foes, only friends. My target speaker, Sai Muchi. He will be attempting level 3, project 3 in his pathway, dynamic leadership. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or give a speech that is a story. With that, I wish all the best to my target speaker and the stage is out. Speaker number 2 is the other extreme of Gen Z. Person who is good at giving yarns because I've been the recipient of the same. And you might see him chatting up future potential members during your tea break. Please welcome Sai Varghese onto the
Schrodinger's cat. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Raise of hands, how many of you know about Schrodinger's cat? Some of you. For the uninitiated, Erwin Schrödinger was an Italian, Austrian, Irish theoretical physicist who came up with this thought experiment, which is called the Schrodinger cat thought experiment. What he did was he took a cat and then put it in the box. And then he took a radioactive element which could decay anytime, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 days, 50 days. And once it decays, it will kill the cat instantly. Put it inside the box and close the box. Raise of hands, how many of you think the cat is dead? One. Raise of hands, how many of you think the cat is alive? All of you are correct. The cat is both dead and alive at the same time. Is that possible? Erwin Schrodinger said that the only way to know the true state of the cat is to open the box and observe the cat. Otherwise, without that observation, the cat is both dead and alive. What's that got to do with real life? Let me give you an example. A couple of years ago, I was immersed in work. Then I get a ping on my Teams chat from the C job. Hello. Who are you? What do you want? Now, what has broken where? I had this 2-minute rant with that ping. Then a message back. No, what are you doing? Then Lucy called me. She said she called me because I had expressed an interest in joining Toastmasters. And then she went to talk about Toastmasters, about her club, about her members, about how our members are progressing, yada, yada, yada. And then she concluded asking, are you interested to join? I said, okay. Victoria's Toastmasters Club is a corporate club which meets every Friday between 3 to 4:30. And it's an online meeting. So that Friday, I logged into the meeting, was warmly welcomed by around 10 members on the screen. I felt very comfortable. And I just sat back and observed the meeting until the table topics came. That's when they encouraged me to speak on a topic. I said, okay. And then, my dear friends, I tell you, beginner's luck is not a thing. I won the best table topic speaker award for a topic on vacations, a speech that I felt was absolute garbage. But then, armed with that certificate of excellence, I joined the club. And then diligently started going to their meetings and taking notes when I could. And then a month later, I got a ping again from Lucy job. Hello. So this time, I just called her up. Hey, Lucy, what's up? She said, Sayuj, it's time for your icebreaker. I said, okay. Do you guys remember your icebreaker preparation? Some of you are going to do your icebreaker. What do I do? What do I include? What do I exclude? What the whole confusion, that nervousness. I went through all that. And then I had a script ready. But the script was like that cat in the box. It was both good and bad. So finally, the D-Day arrived. My name was called for the speech. 10 faces on the screen waiting in anticipation for my speech. And I, palms sweaty, knees weak, I began my speech. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I'm your bartender for this evening and here to break some ice. And that smile, that giggle, I could see on the screen, and that encouraged me to complete my speech. After the evaluation, I realized I wasn't bad. I wasn't great. I wasn't bad. But there's something else that I realized. I had dared to open the box and look at my Schrodinger's cat. Before that day, I was both the greatest speaker in the world to the worst speaker in the world and everything in between. But that day, I opened the box. I saw my strengths, my weakness, my abilities, my capabilities. And I realized where I lie in that spectrum. Today, I stand before you completing my level 3 project. Because that day, I dared to look into the box. Not just that day, every other meeting, every role, every event, I dared to look into that box. Toastmasters and dear guests. Toastmaster gives you a platform to grow. It gives you a supportive environment for you to reach your goals. All that you need to do in return is dare to open the box and look at the shuttle to scan. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saraj, for that insightful speech. As well as taking us back to physics classes, you also brought back the reality that I also have to prepare for my icebreaker. Now, let's come to the last three riddles before the third speaker comes on stage. This one again, I do like this superhero, so maybe just because of the way the superhero is presented, so let me just read out the riddles for you guys. One talks a lot, breaking every rule. The other is tough, a serious fool. In a world of mutants and pain they clash. Who are these two in a wild bash? Yes, sir. Charles Xavier and I like this. Okay, I can give another clue. I like the superhero just because he's portrayed by a very cute actor. Yes, Deadpool is exactly. Just because background of the I like it. Coming to the next one. Now let's think broader. So, two giants, one stood in opposite sides. One with stars and stripes, the other with red pride. They raced to the moon, built bombs out of fear. Name these rivals of the Cold War years. Yes, Saraj.
USA and Russia.
Yes. Yes. Coming to the last one, like when people are very intelligent, super intelligent, I think ideas clash and rivals do form. So this is think like that. Okay? One made electricity go one way, the other thought a different way. They both help light up our homes. Who are these men with clever brains and toes? Yes, yes, the other person?
Edison.
Yes, thank you. Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla, both of them, one propounded AC, the other propounded DC. Both were at war with each other, but both were really bright minds. So that brings me to the end of my riddles. I hope you enjoyed it at least. Maybe while speaking about this, did you guys think about at least one phone in your brain, like who kind of maybe help somewhere to nurture you and better you? Now, for the third evaluation. This person has kind of figured out the way to a successful, happy marriage. So this is kind of his, the takeaway during Club Cabana. So what he does is, when he goes on a solo trip, he sets aside the same budget for his wife so that she can spend accordingly. Please welcome on stage, Wasim Fasil.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Advice helps you later. So I have a question just for the members. What is the most prominent question that you get asked when you go for a COTP training or some workshop happens here in Toastmasters? Who are you?
Which club are you?
One thing I noticed was, why did you join Toastmasters? Almost repeating every time it comes, and I always wrote the same answer every time: to make friends. Then comes public speaking and leadership. So first of all, happy Friendship Day to all of you. So going to our next speaker. Our next speaker is attempting level 3, project 3. The purpose of this project is to practice writing a speech with the emphasis on adding language to improve the overall interest and impact. Timer, please note the timing for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the next speaker.
That
The next speaker is our ever smiling Bright Arts member. And I've always wondered, doesn't a mathematics major, which by the way helps pull up the muscle, helps smile, doesn't he get fatigued? He's always constantly smiling. So please welcome Neville Shah onto the stage.
पैसा पैसा क्यों करती है तू पैसे पे क्यों मरती है Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. They say money talks. Today you just saw money dances too. Not the money gives speeches, but today a special money is going to give a speech. Not just any speech, his story of how a journey comes to behind this particular. This is the same note which you would have quoted in your pants, and sometimes the pants get washed. This is the same note which brings a smile when you earn it for the first time. And this is the same note which works for some of us as Sutta breaks. But this, do you know where does this note come from? Where do I come from? No, I come from some paper mills, not paper mills, but mills in Mysore and some a few more places. And I would make a paper. I made of cotton, smooth and silky, with sharp edges. And on top of it, I have so many quotes and stuff written on it with one photo of somebody very famous. You all know. And some quotes written on it. Don't tell anyone. These are all secret codes. And if you come to know what are these, you can replicate it too. But I won't tell you these details. Let that process. From there, I start my journey to banks and ATMs. And one day, in 1990s, somewhere, a 80-year-old grandpa went to the ATM and withdrew me on an auspicious day of Diwali. He took it home and went to his grandson and gave him. But take this. This is your Diwali gift. That grandson took me and ran to this first room. Folded it nicely. Convert a number 65 and put it in the kitchen. Few months passed, that started again. I thought maybe I'll never see the light again. Maybe my values vanish. But then he broke that piggy bank. And there it was. I was there with that same number, 65 written on. He went and bought a friendship band to build rapport with his. That was a lovely gesture. That gave value to this money. Value to me. I thought I have become very proud owner. I have seen the beauty of friendship. And just like any pride and ego, my ego came crashing. Soon I started getting circulated from one vendor to another, from auto rickshaw drivers to customers. And I went to places I can't even think about. Some were so religious that it just gives me shivers thinking about what I have. From being lush and white like cotton, soon I started becoming that I fell into the hands of a guy wearing a white kurta And he started boarding me in this box with other friendly notes of mine. And I was trapped with thousands and 500. Years passed with no daylight, only spider webs accumulating over me, dust after dust. And one day, I was again shining like Simba from Lion King. And the newsletter reporter announcing the CBI raid has found rupees 2 crore from the fraud and corrupt white kurta guy. There I was, finding my shine and luster with that beauty. From being circulated to being hoarded, I thought, how is my time again to shine? Again, I recovered that luster and charm which I had. But then, that's when I learned. I went from that CBI office to the ATM booth again. And at the ATM booth, I learned no more note stocking. Hey, have you heard? There is this new coins, digital currency. We are of no value for them of papers required. They are made of cartoons, dogs, and cats. Oh my God! Whatever we going to do if papers can't be used? No physical currency anymore? We, they cannot use us for the chai or sultan things. That's their economy. There, if they go to the chai wala and say, "Bhaiya, doji coin doge kya?" They won't get any chai or even cutting. So that's fine. And there my anxiety started going down and I felt calm and confident. Soon, as I was sitting in the ATM, and nicely dressed, green shirt, black pants guy walks to the ATM and he withdraws me. He just had rupees 100 in his bank balance. But he wanted to impress his friend. I saw, he looked at me and looked at the same 65 written on the note. And he realized that that was the same note his grandpa had. And he thought, today is the day I will give it to my friend whom I want to impress. With just 10 bucks in his wallet. He went there and asked, "Bhaiya, do cutting chai?" And he went, "Hey, chai." From there, his love story began and he had a story to tell. That's when again this road found its value. Somewhere we all keep these notes in our pocket, never to be found, never to be seen. But these notes also have story, value, and purpose to share. So next time you get a note, take it out, use it, because this is not just a note, it's a note to share a story. Thank you.
Thank you, Nidal, for that wonderful, insightful story about a note. I was taken back to the time where before the digital currency and UPI, if you remember, like we used to get these changes from bus conductors and all that. And even love letters would be written on notes, if you remember that era. And almost be torn notes somehow stuck with cellophane tape, we would try to change hands so that it is, gone from our hands. So I was taken back to that time. So thanks for that. Now, let me call upon the special guest, like the always cool and always calm, Deepak Krishna, for hosting the newsletter quiz session. Please welcome Deepak.
So,
20 questions in the quiz. This is all taken out. Wasim is preparing the.
So you would have received the members would have received the link in the mail group. You can access that.
And from speak here.
So the display is not working. This is on our right path quiz, which is right now with our newsletter. So all members can access the quiz link on the group, and people you can call out the questions and the options because the screen is not working. It's not working.
Now it's yeah. Now I just started the. So I can see 9 players. How many of them should be? Currently I see 12. Some of people are expert, people say.
This is what it says. It's not.
Yeah. Get ready to play is what the screen you will see until I go to the first question. Okay. Now I see 15. Someone joined and then they step. I'm sure why.
This is the one. This is 17 or something.
We have 19 members. Who is not playing?
So. So. We can get started now. So. You know the last message in the group post.
Question did you start? No. Okay.
We'll get started. So there are 17 questions, not 50 questions. And we just started rolling.
Yeah,
I think so, yes, it's responding. Now it's okay, according to the news system.
A total of how many line of the club chartered according to newsletter?
Just that, 2 minutes, the new post. One.
So should I get?
Alexis,
You can go to the next question.
You can read out first.
Yeah.
We will, all the guests already in, should we wait for, you'll go to the next question.
So is ahead.
Followed by.
It went against never. It didn't finish. Then we went off. Yeah.
I'm third.
It's coming is finish. The join and finish.
You started with the last question.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think.
Wasim was just testing if you're all alert.
Please
One
open.
question, please now should be. The science you were third in the trial. Okay, ready? Ready again.
Okay, go to the same link.
Same thing, everybody, okay.
Login again?
Yeah, I think so. The same link, you can. Okay. Now I see other things.
Okay, this one.
Yeah, now it's one offside, okay.
Who is the chief editor of Jan to June 25 newsletter? Akshay, Abhishek, Arundhati, and Neville.
Never.
I need to talk.
Correct?
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Previous one. But this still, aside the question, we have done.
Next question. Next question.
Next question.
Oh my gosh, I find this making so much like this.
Are they getting?
That is required.
Time up on that. Yeah, halfway through the time.
Okay, I think. It's asking.
Reload.
Oh, yeah, I just clicked reload.
Came with reload.
Another.
Wait for the host to start the quiz.
Let me. Then.
Oh my god, now I
Too many things spoil the block. Auntie.
They're building rapport there. They're building rapport. Use the one. Because of the new, are you guys?
Again, now again, question 2. Question 1 is done, now question 2
Yeah.
is coming.
Oh, question 2 has come.
Let's play.
There was a leakage of question paper.
This is.
That is not in qualification. Ah, okay. That's a
Outstanding.
Many delegates.
Go
Back to the again, yeah. Yes, but I'm. Sure.
250.
Which time?
Okay, now everybody needs to listen to Deepak, okay?
This is too detailed a question.
That's why you need to listen to Deepak. Yeah, just listen to Deepak.
Loading.
Now it's ahead.
Now is the one lady, Somal, second.
I
I said. Okay. Okay, next one. What's the next one?
Yeah.
You know what it is?
Again, we have to go to the next.
No, it's going on its own, as in getting reloaded on its own. I'm not doing anything. Now it's the third question.
You're this technical.
How many members, clubs, and countries Toastmaster is spread out.
How many numbers?
You have various options
Toastmasters is about.
to go through.
Okay. So.
That's the sort. 400.
Or start with these options.
Oh, I did this.
This is one.
Vishnu is leading.
Has no personality of its own.
Start from number two. Okay, let's get. Get ready. What's number 4? It's coming. It's coming.
I'm waiting for this one.
When was Bright Heart Toastmaster chartered off? Others like us. Mine was 2024.
Everyone who's screaming, so instead of screaming the wrong answer. Obviously.
No, we will not. I will come back to the.
I need some help.
And nothing came.
We didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm not come. Yeah, but did not come.
Yeah.
How many photos are there for page of Museum of Bright Art? How many photos are there? Every page of Museum of Bright Art. 12, 9, 8.
How many? I'm just going to try. Not sure.
1, 2,
8.
3, 1, go.
Sorry.
And nobody, where are you in the leaderboard?
Vishnu ahead. No.
I'm in the ninth. Ninth place.
Bill? Bill?
Some.
There's someone. Will there language will stand on side?
See, whoever's put different names, you have to show Aadhaar card together. You have to. Quick, forward question. Okay.
Next question.
Who is considered to current executive committee?
Vishnu.
Vishnu.
Anmol, Madhu.
Definitely correct.
At least shout the name that's there in the options. Yeah.
In Vishnu.
I know.
And Sakas.
What is it? New club alignment?
What is our new club alignment? Where we are in which region, which district, which division, which area?
Didn't answer.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Last question.
I think.
Malabar Express has arrived.
Historical.
But still it is 2.06. Okay, now you can tell the leaderboard, barring Vishnu, Neville, Mani and Priyanka.
It's spotted head.
Spotted, this is spotted head.
Spotted head.
Spotted head. Spotted head is after head place is not
All false. All false.
This look like it is the fourth one.
No.
No.
I'm so sorry for the delay. No, thank you.
Bowing on the board and the incorrect entries, ninth place becomes the first place. So I was in the ninth place. So we do not include the boards and outstanding students. Okay, the voting links will be open. I think you have to go. Yeah. So the voting link would be bit.ly/BHTM vote 1. You vote for the best. Yeah, so anybody can. bit.ly/BHTM vote 1.
I'm sorry, repeat again, please.
bit.ly/BHTM vote 1. Right mark, BHTM first mark.
My hotspot is on, and twice the password is successfully activated. If everyone has explained,
Are we good? So those who have finished their voting, you may please proceed outside. There will be, I think it's inside here. You may please proceed for snacks and talking to each other, creating surroundings. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So hope everybody is back and rejuvenated after that nice cup of chai and authentic Bengali sweets.
Yes.
And I hope you made friends, done course and networked.
Yes.
Okay. So welcome back. So concluding this session of mine, the ultimate takeaway is that whatever said and done, we are all social beings. We all thrive on connections. So when we have friendships or we have relationships in our life, obviously everything takes a bit of work, a bit of effort. So if you're amongst those who are blessed with non-judgmental, genuine, good friends, consider yourself amongst the lucky few. With this, I conclude my session and now I give up the stage to one of the sweetest members in Bright Hearts, Abhishek, who will be our convo master for the day. And yeah.
Not encourage, this is pure blunt force.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As the theme of the meeting, we have a rapport with our friends and cousins. Similarly, I welcome you to the second edition of Convo Master. Convo Master is just like a native cousin of Table Topic Master. Instead of having a topic, you will have to, I will give you a scenario and you have to talk on that. For the benefit of our guests, let me share. So, in our internal community, we have this initiative called the Right Hello, where we share some tips to improve your interpersonal communication skills. And based on that, on those tips, we are going to have a session where you can practice those tips. Let me start with setting some ground rules for this. There are 3 ground rules. A, whoever are interested, they can raise their hand and they will be invited on the stage. B, we will provide them a scenario and based on that scenario, they have to talk. And C, they will have around 3 minutes, the timing will be. So at 2 minutes, green card will be shown. At 2.5 minutes, yellow card will be shown. And at 3 minutes, the red card will be shown and they have to stop. I think this is simple. Cool. And the theme for this Convo Master is social gathering. Okay, so at first, this section is open for the guest also. So I request guests to also take part in this. Okay, for the first session, I will give a demo how it is being done. So for that, I would like to invite the members from Bright Heart Committee. Can we have people? Can we have Priyanshu? So many.
Yeah,
Also, for our guests, I will request you to use the word rapport, which is the word of the day. So, imagine you guys are coming to the Bright Heart Club for the first time. Okay, and you are sitting down, and you don't know anyone. Then how will you start a conversation? So, is it like you both are unknowns.
yeah, for individual speakers also.
This is a new setup, and you don't know anything. Okay, but you have to start a conversation. Yeah, sure. Hi. Hi. I'm Kinchu. Sorry. I'm coming here for the first time. Could you take this? What is this all about?
Even I am first time new here. It's so good here, the energy and the vibes. What you hear?
So I wanted to improve my communication skills. That's why I joined the club. So I want to know from their side. Yeah, they kind of just confused. What they actually have to do? Do you have any idea?
Yeah,
Did you get charged from later?
I've seen some YouTube videos of this Bright Heart Toastmaster. They are so good. Like people used to come here and talk about what they feel like in the speeches. They prepare as a public speaker and giving a speech and doing a lot of enjoyment and learning as well.
So regarding planning, because I am.
Okay. Even I'm still thinking stage. Even I'm still thinking, but I have planned to join this next week.
Maybe it's a speed. Because they can go 20%.
Even I am in the money grudge. Most probably we can afford it. It's not too much. It's like for the investment, can do it for sure. Yeah. And like what's your plan today? I mean, how it's going for. Will you be going to stage and do different topics?
Yeah, so I'm planning that. I have to talk to some of the members and they encouraged me to, go on stage and try to take the topics for the first time. So, yes, I think I will do.
So I guess let's enjoy the meeting now and see how it is going and learn about how it went.
Like we normally started with asking her and her opinion. Right? This is a great hack to start a conversation with an unknown person. So for the second conversation, I would like to invite as guests, not guest, maybe member only. Okay, anyone who would like to join?
Pooja.
So, you guys are pro members, okay? And let me give you something hard, right? Sometimes it is very different, even hard conversation, right? So let me give you a scenario. You are at a building, okay? And suddenly, I'm fronting you and talking about why you are not married. Yes. How do you handle that strong hard conversation? That is what you please have. So, but your question is, who would you like? Who would be like that auntie? Okay, now we're going to second conversation.
Hi, Neha. Thank you.
Hey, with a lot of stuff in my life. How are you doing?
I am good. I am living nicely with my grandchildren. How about you? When are you getting married?
I don't have any plans of getting married. Near future.
Why? How old are you?
Just 20.
The right age to look for a good alliance.
But I'm exploring life at this stage and experimenting with various things.
Don't experiment too much, Beta. It's very vulnerable, I tell you. Too much experimentation, not good. I think you should shortlist a few right choices and then filter them out and think of things differently. I think that will take 1 to 2 years time. By then you'll be sure enough to decide.
I think I can wait for the next 5 or 10 years.
Of course. Oh my God. After 10 years, you will not have any options left, I tell you.
But it has my life. That is the biggest option and choice that I have chosen.
Okay. But then 10 years is a long time. It's an auntie's advice. You should believe in my experiences.
Auntie, can I ask you a question?
Oh, yes, please ask. I am 40-year-old. See, it's double of your experience. So you must trust me. But it's 50% of my. Yes, but 10 years going forward, it's a long time. Expertise advice, you know.
If I had met an auntie like you, I don't know if he got married at 20. So, in their conversation, they use this one topic anchored to the flow, not just a person. Like they were not commenting on a person, but they were rather moving on the flow. That was around the marriage, right? Cool. Now I would like to call the members or the guests. The floor is open for the guests, and I highly promote guests to join us. Maybe can we have some more from the guests, please? So we have also as reminder. So the scenario for you is how to continue a conversation. Just imagine it's Friday evening. You are at a bar. You are at DCM. Bar. Bar. No, bar. Typical bar. There is a smell of beer in the air. Oh. But not high. I don't like. Having a conversation with them. But he is getting a very short reply. You showing not much interest. And then how will you continue that conversation with them?
So I'm the talkative.
Do you have? Do you understand exactly?
Yeah, I should prompt them.
Yeah, like you have to continue this conversation, and I have to let.
You're the person who will be
Sort of.
you have to get motivated here. Got to silent in your own space. And the person who's trying to prompt him.
I think we are all set. Guys?
Yeah.
You can smell the beer in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you? Good. Or things good. Not so good. That's so just okay. Very friendly. Right now.
It's you who are going to do it differently.
You can be the most resistant and it's very soft. Sorry. That's a 180-degree thing. No, not once. I don't know. I was trying to know you. That's what I was doing here. I mean, what did you tell me? Or do you want to tell that? Oh, okay. I will do. I guess you need. Yes, sorry. I mean, what do you prefer?
I'm a witness and
Okay.
I go to you. Right, I'm ready for job.
It's great. Yeah, physics. That is nice. Good. And just came here to check that. And how are you otherwise? What do you do? So we are all.
I don't make.
Okay. So was it your first time trying? You don't drink, right? So we just keep that.
Right.
Oh, you are into fitness. I should have understood that.
So, because like, things are not right at this moment in my life. Okay. I'm here. I see other people like how they are happy when they go to the bar, they drink, and I feel like they are so happy to see from my balcony.
Okay.
So to experience, I can, like, what makes them?
You're curious about the happiness in the air, it's true. I mean, people are a little more lighter. That they are drinking maybe they're more sociable like that. It creates a natural happiness in the air. Yeah, you're a good place. I could say. That was a pleasure meeting.
I believe, if I would be like, but if I say with such rapopacity, completely, and right thing.
I mean, I would prefer that to you, but then again, I don't mind having a break. Thank you.
There's one thing, I really like, the way we started the conversation, right? Initially, there was a silence, right? But still, Atul reframed that silence as his piece, not a failure. And he carried his conversation. And the section for the use of body language. Atul was using his body language, open the niche, right? So he became comfortable and the conversation has begun. So these are the two things, two hacks we have also shared. Use a good body language and don't see silence as a failure. It's a space. With that, I will then like to call our next conversation, and who will like to join this? Pallavi,
Let's go.
please. Okay, so the scenario of you is both are at the workshop. Okay. Now, Pranav has to leave the workshop, and suddenly you came and start talking to him. Now, Pranav, the challenge for you is you have to listen the conversation, but this speed, without making somebody feel offended. That is magic for you. So, and you have to speak up. And you got the snack. Yes. You do. Yes. Comfortable. Yes. Let's start.
Hey, colleagues, great to see you.
So, why leaving the class? Please, and
Indeed, so many engaging lectures, and I've seen a lot of presentations. It's actually very engaging, but actually I have some commitment. Actually, I'm taking my family out for dinner today.
is it important?
It's actually not for me, but actually I'm little time crunched at this moment. I would have spent some more time. But before maybe leaving, we can still engage and discuss in case you want to discuss anything about this presentation or for that matter anything else.
Yes. Could you please tell me what is the one thing you know most like about this workshop?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things actually, which included Professor Padmanabhan talking about artificial intelligence and couple of things about other lady talking about quantum computing, lot of tech stuffs being discussed. Do appreciate, but maybe I'm not sure as in how can I implement that in my current job role. But at the same time, I'm seeing my watch as well, and my kids are actually calling me when I'm coming Papa, kind of thing.
But you told me that is not that important, so you should stay here now.
Indeed, but I have actually I have kind of promised them that I'll take them out today evening. They can say that I want to make a move.
great opportunity in future, you cannot able to get it again. So
Yes.
it's good if you stay here and you can promise your kids on another day, you can take them out and another day and they will understand like if Papa is at the important workshop, then they will not mind. Stay here.
Yeah, so I have a very good friend of mine who's attending this workshop. And he has got a lot of experience. Maybe I think, if I heard you correctly, you belong to, you are into software engineering at the company, I think you mentioned Freshworks or some company. So this friend of mine is actually very good. He's actually an architect and you might discuss a lot of concepts with him. So why don't you join?
So I
So what we can do is probably let him chime in. You,
comfortable at all.
then yeah, maybe let's spend a couple of seconds maybe. And then.
Seconds should be not, I mean, you need to spend a lot of time.
Oh, yeah, so let's talk.
So you told me about quantum computing.
Yes.
I find it interesting. So would you like to tell me something more about it?
Quantum computing is the next big future. Everybody is vouching for with artificial intelligence and coming in. It's indeed a very good space for an engineer to work on. And that's where I would like you to talk to my friend. You can knowledge to contribute in this space.
As I told you, I'm not comfortable.
But I really need to welcome Pallavi. I really enjoyed this conversation and maybe we can catch up over a call. What do you think? Maybe catching you tomorrow at 10 o'clock?
Oh, it's nice talking to you.
I really like the way Pallavi used, she brings the conversation by asking what you like about the workshop. That is one thing. And I really like the way you try to handle conversation with a positive thoughtful thing. Like, but maybe next, maybe tomorrow, like that. So that is a good way to close the conversation on a very positive note. Thank you. Thank you. I think that maybe you enjoy these conversations, right? And maybe use these tips whenever you are on a social gathering to become a pro on your conversation. With that, I end my Convo Master section and I hand over my state, I hand over the stage to the GE operator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. That was wonderful session from your side. And thanks to all the participants. Now it's time for evaluations. For evaluating the first speaker, I would like to invite the first evaluator, Usha, Toastmaster Usha.
Evening, everyone. And I'm back with my evaluation report for my target speaker, Madhu. Madhu, this was your level 2 speech 3. And the purpose of the speech was for you, for your speech, for the purpose of this project, for you, was to clearly define how Toastmaster envisions mentoring, for you to share some aspects of your previous experience as a person who's got mentored as project. Now, your speech, the topic that you chose, even Anne's knows more about it. That is, the topic itself is so real and so relatable. Please give the observed ants every time, and they always walk in groups. And you took such a simple topic and made it so motivational for included it in your speech and made it so motivating. It was really good. Talking about your speech, I'll just say few things that you really excel at. You have a great humor in your speech, which sprinkled all over. You had great eye contact and your stage presence was excellent. Your voice modulation was absolutely fine. There are few things that you could do little better, which I felt. You were using a lot of technical terms like deployment, production, like what is, you talked about, pushing the code into production, CI/CD and things like that. Considering the Toastmasters platform, you have people coming from different genres, and there is a possibility of people not understanding how important it is for engineer to push the code into production. They don't know the repercussion of that. So my suggestion would be like to make it more common, and maybe you could have stopped in between and just told how critical it becomes for an engineer to push the code in production. So that one thing. And second thing that you could do better was you could have stuck to the Toastmasters speech purpose. There were two definitions, as I said. One is you have to explain some aspect of your previous experience of how of you got trained by someone, which you did, where you introduced Rajiv, your mentor, but you did not clearly define how Toastmasters had envisioned mentoring in your life. If you would have got that, then the project purpose would have been met. Overall, your speech was really great, and yeah, and yes, just avoid a bit of technical jargon and keep it more relatable for the people in the room. Otherwise, you had great speech delivered. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Toastmaster Usha, for that wonderful evaluation. Completely agree with your points, what you discussed for Madhu. And the way you structured your evaluation was also very good. You had a very good opening, you had highlights, lowlights, and you summarized it really well. Just one point for you to take it to the next level, I would recommend you to point out whether the objective was met or not in the initial part of it. That may be something which you, when you start the speech, when you start the evaluation, if you can give a heads up to the speaker saying that, okay, that objective was met or not, that would really add a value. Coming back to Madhu, great speech, just one area of improvement for you. I would recommend you to have a little bit of more of vocal varieties in your speech. What I felt was you had a monotone in your speech, you have great delivery, great humor, everything was there. But if you could have brought in a little bit of vocal varieties or voice modulation in many of the cases, then that speech would have been in the next level. That's all. With that, let's move to the second evaluator for today. Welcome, Toastmaster Bharna.
Thank you, Vishnu. Good evening again. And a special good evening to my target speaker, Sai. Today, you delivered a speech that is so relatable to so many of us. A journey from a Slack message, a call, to becoming a Toastmaster. Here are my highlights for your speech. Firstly, you met the objective completely. You had a very well-organized speech that included a personal story. You started from a scientific thought experiment and engaged with the audience by asking them a question first and foremost. How many of you have heard of Schrodinger's cat? Then you narrated a relatable personal story with expressions like okay, and also included topics like the icebreaker, which at this point are very relatable to many of the audience. And third, you ended with a call to action, daring to open the box, which you related back to the Schrodinger's cat. Now, coming to my points of improvement. The first I believe was, though your story was very relatable, using deliberate pauses and a bit more of the stage while the three segments were being told. First, getting the Slack message and the call. Coming to the first time you gave a table topic. And finally, to your icebreaker. Would have made sure that you use the stage appropriately and also help the audience to catch up to a story that could at some times be fast-paced. Second, you introduced us to an experiment that about 80% of the audience had no idea. And then you told us the result after asking, do you think the cat is alive? Or do you think the cat is dead? I believe if you held on to that suspense till the end of your speech, keeping the audience's attention, then in the conclusion, you could have revealed it along with your learning and how it's applicable to your life and hence to everybody in the room. Third, the call to action was very focused on you as a Toastmaster, your journey through. I believe that if you use more generally applicable examples, it would have helped more of the audience. So, putting your second and third point together, how I would go about call to action would be, so after I delivered my icebreaker, was I a good speaker? Was I a great speaker? So I've asked, are you a good speaker, a great speaker, or a bad one? For that matter, are you a good boyfriend, a bad boyfriend, or a great one? You will never know unless you dare to open the books. So, in conclusion, while your speech was incredibly organized and met the objective completely, by having relatable examples and a call to action, I believe your next speech could be even better if you use the stage more deliberately to let the audience catch on. You use suspense, which you already have in some stories that you hear, and you have a call to action that is more applicable to the rest of your audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anna, for that wonderful evaluation. I don't have anything to add on top of this, and as a feedback to Saj also, I don't have anything. So I just move on to the next speech evaluator, Toastmaster Vasan.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. How many of you remember the number that was on the note? 65. Great. So, first of all, to start with, my target speaker level, your objective is clearly achieved. The purpose of this speech is to use language and storytelling to create that impact and interest among the audience. And I think you have done it really well. To start with the highlights, the entire storytelling that you used, especially from the point of view of money, I think was something new. At least I haven't experienced before. Or else most of our speeches would be having a third-person view kind of a thing. That I really love. And then a subset of it is how you related the story of the grandfather and the grandson. When my grandfather gave that 10 rupees and then this grandson ran all over the place, I could relate to how I used to get these small bits of money during Ramzan and then go to my piggy bank and then put it down. So there was great storytelling throughout the speech that you have used. The second thing that I liked was the personification of money that you did. While you started in a funny way, like money not just talks, it dances. But then towards the later part, I think you brought in some of the serious elements. Like my anxiety went down and I became calm. You spoke on behalf of money. And when you said that I have been to places even where I cannot speak about, and then I could see the whole audience being silent. There I felt like, okay, it has perfectly landed the way it has to be. The third point that I really liked was the prop on the stage. When you shut that suitcase up, it was so nice. Like, and then we could all feel the impact of that, that particular situation. Coming to areas of improvements, one suggestion I would have is, while I like the overall storytelling, I think at some places the narrative was missed a bit. When the CBI showed the money, and then what is the value to this? You went a bit and then paused and then value, what is the value to me? I think a little bit of nudge there where again you saw money as a different person than you being the money in themselves. Second one was, I think, the conclusion part. I feel you almost were at the end of your speech, so you had to rush and give a conclusion where you mentioned like, though I am never not to be found, I always have value. Probably if you had practiced enough, had enough time, you would have probably everything has a value, even though they are not found. Would be a better landing. And the last point is your vocal variety, especially because when I am sitting at the back side, when you said, I'm not made of paper, I'm made of gold. This is how you said, I would have preferred, I'm not made of paper, I'm made of gold. Kind of still stronger vocal variety would have helped. To summarize, overall, you have great storytelling, personification, prop on stage movement. If you can add a little bit of sticking to the narrative, vocal variety, and a better conclusion, I am looking forward to all your further speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vasim, for the wonderful evaluation. And of course, great speech, Neville. Just one feedback for you to take the speech to the next level. Whenever you are having emotions in your speech coming in, your tone is going a little bit lower, your volume is quickly going down. So if you can work on that, that will definitely make your speech to the next level. That's all, but great speech. Thank you. With that, let's move on to the tax team report. First, let me invite the mark outer, Toastmaster Akash.
I agree.
Good evening.
Hope you all remember what I have shared earlier. Honest friend. So now that I'll be sharing the report, not to embarrass anyone, but as an honest friend to so that everyone can input it. So with that, I'll start with the report. Surgery records, frames. As no feedback. Arundhati has also some feedback, both were flawless. Toastmaster of the day, Nivedita, has one crunch words, which is one reputation. General level. As you us. And one reputation. Speakers. Speaker model has one pause and level and saw silence. Have nothing, so they were flawless, including Madhur. All the three speakers were good. And evaluators. Usha has tendency to use hers in speech. In work. Arna. No feedback. Wasim used such words like us 2 times. Table topic Master Abhishek has tendency to you of using us to you. Table topic speaker 1, Vinshu used 3 times. Soumil used 5 times. Pooja has not used when Asika. Sneha as well. You both are good. Yes, Atul used 2 times. Dharmendra used once and 1 kilohertz. And Pranav used 5 times. And the tendency of using actually in his speech. This last but not the least, Philip used 3 times.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akash. So there's one area of improvement for you when you're coming for next time on stage. If you can club all the flawless speakers together towards the end of your report, that will be big, so that you can focus on the speakers who had flaws in the day. That's it. Thank you. With that, let's move on. Welcoming our breviary for today, Toastmaster Tarun.
Good evening, bright hearts. Yes.
Good evening.
So I'm here to present before you the Breviary's report for meeting number 40. With respect to the number of the usage for the word of the day, my Rapo repository says it's about 9. It brings down to about 2 usages for Nivedita and 1 for Neville. And Abhishek had used it twice, so did Akash. And Atul and Dharmendra used it one time each. With respect to good usage of grammar, I was able to find a few instances where Nivedita had used not my forte, especially while describing her tendency to not shy away from riddles, even on topics that were slightly beyond her zone of familiarity. With respect to Madhur, there were quite a few instances where he described about this phrase, holding a knife to the throat, or walking beside until you learn how to walk on your own, especially while describing how empathetic his mentor was when he found nervous during the deployment phase. Another one that came from Saraj was the D-Day has arrived for describing the day of his icebreaker speech. Catchy phrase that came from Neville was circulated and noted to describe the journey of that 10 rupee note. One such instance of suboptimal usage of grammar that I found was repeating the same mistakes again. Instead of using that phrase, I've modified it by stating repeats the same mistakes. All in all, with impressive usage of about 9 times for the word of the day, I thank all the speakers and the participants for incorporating the word of the day into your vocabulary, and I hope it stays the same even after we are done with this. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arun. Really explained very well. With that, let's move on to the next role, sketcher, Toastmaster Sneha.
Ready, guys? I'm gonna grill you all on your active listening skills, and remember that these sketches that I show, it's not only from the speeches, it is from the role takers as well. Okay. Recognize this one. And tell me who said it and just the name of this phrase. I don't know.
Size out, short in this cat. You will not know till you open the box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Who is this?
Auntie's advice.
Pooja.
Yeah, 40-year-old auntie. Tell me the context. Month. Month. Okay, well. What is this? Palan.
Simba, oh, yeah, it's Neville.
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 Showing
What's the context?
that he's showing the note. It's
What is this? First thing.
We compare, like, say, how the SBK showed the money with Simba being raised.
Yes.
Like,
Right. Oh.
I know what this is. No, this is Abhishek, during his Congo Master.
Yeah.
It was the third topic for the test.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then yeah, this is the riddle.
So when Nivedita was telling about
Riddle,
actually
yeah.
a puzzle, right?
Who answered? That one. Yes. I'm confused. You have to give me the phrase, okay? Like, there's a phrase, somebody use this phrase. Okay. Yeah, but what is the phrase?
Am I intelligent? Am I?
Slightly.
Yes,
Slightly.
thank you, guys.
Thank you, Toastmaster Neha, you are so creative. With that, let's move on to the timer of the day. Welcome, Toastmaster Mala.
Let's go. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I'm glad with my report. So there's been no disqualification today. Everybody has been online, barring a couple of roll timbers, which is fine. So we can, let me start with the first person who started the meeting, Priyansh. You took 3 minutes 3 minutes 50 seconds. Arundhati, you took 11 minutes 30 seconds. Keynote, Nivedita, you took 13 minutes 38 seconds total. And Deepak, who did the newsletter quiz, you took 13 minutes 10 seconds. Tag team, our counter, Akash, you took 3 minutes 13 seconds. Ramiri and Tarun, you took 1 minute 54 seconds. Sneha, you took 2 minutes 35 seconds. And then the speakers, we have Madhur, you took 5 minutes 44 seconds. Sauch, you took 6 minutes 13 seconds. Neville, you took 7 minutes 23 seconds. Coming back to the evaluators, Shah, you took 3 minutes 16 seconds. Arna, you took 3 minutes 24 seconds. Wasim, you took 3 minutes 19 seconds. Back to the Congo Master, Abhishek, you took 3 minutes 30 seconds in total. And then the votes, Somen and Pinshu, you took 2 minutes 5 seconds in total. Pooja and Sneha, you took 2 minutes 14 seconds. Arjun and Ravindra, you took 3 minutes 11 seconds. Pallavi and Pranav, you took 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So this brings me to the end of the report. Thank you so much. And back to the
Thank you, Toastmaster Mala. How much time? 0. 5 minutes.
7 minutes.
Thank you. All right, let's get started.
would like to congratulate or give a shout out to the VPPR team because we had a couple of backouts before this meeting happened, but we really managed it really well to make sure that the team is completely aligned. We have all the speakers and all the evaluators at time. Kudos to you all. Before this meeting started, as I said, agenda was rolled out on time. Even though there was backwards happened, you really did a great job there. Today, while coming for this meeting, the room was set up. Even though we didn't have another room, we really managed to make sure that this room is set up for this meeting today. Hats off to our super charming SAE, Priyansh. Let me go with roles. Sergeant Rams, Toastmaster Priyansh, you had a great energy on stage today. The way you started that energy literally carried throughout this meeting till now. Kudos to that. You started with an activity and you talked about Toastmasters. You covered the rules really well and you positioned our Queen of Bright Hearts, the president of Bright Hearts Toastmasters, very correctly. Thank you for that. Just one area of improvement for you. In throughout your delivery, if you could bring some pauses in between, that will actually help you. When you are talking about refreshments, the rules, they basically one by one, if you can go through that, that will actually help the audience to absorb that. And also when we have guests also there, they will also be able to understand what is that you are trying to articulate. Thanks. Moving on to our presiding officer, President DTM Arundhati. Great job. You had very good structure in your introduction. You brought in the theme for our meeting today and you invited all our guests, and with the bridging which you did, they all felt very included. No feedback for you. Moving on to the Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Nivedita, great job. Initially, I was having a confusion around the theme, the title, and how we are going to bring it, but you really explained it well to make sure that all of us in the room are on the same page. The engaging activity which you brought in as riddles really worked well because it had connection with our theme. One area of improvement for you, if you would have explained that much before that riddle started, that would have given more clarity to the guest as well as our Toastmasters members. Another area of improvement for you, Toastmaster of the day, when you are calling out speakers on stage, you have to give the speaker speech title, and speaker. That's how you have to introduce the speaker. Because today's speech, we were not able to understand the speech title from the speakers. So if you can improve or if you can work on that, that will be really great job done. Coming to the Toastmaster of the topic master of the day. So, Toastmaster Abhishek, you started it really well. You brought in the theme of the meeting before you started your tabletop conversation. And something which was mandatory, we explained what that conversational topic is all about. That is what you covered. And you gave timing guidelines as well. You mentioned the rules clearly. You picked up correct people from that slot, like bringing up guests plus members. So that picking up was also really great. And you explained it also really well. Also, you tied it back with the bridging which you did. You tied it back really well with the tips which we shared as writers. One thing I would recommend you to keep in your mind when you are doing conversational topics next time onwards, we really don't need a chair or people to actually sit and then talk. Because the scenario which you gave them depends. Sometimes they can stand, sometimes they can sit. So you don't need to literally ask them to sit. It's the speaker's choice to how to go about it. That can be one area of input. Moving on to the table topic speakers. The first table topic pair, it was Somal and Vinshu. No feedbacks for you. Great conversation. It went really smooth and it was humorous. Looks like you people by-hearted each and every right hello tip. What was Seem and our team has shared. Great job. Sneha and Pooja, great enactment. I'm sure you would have done this to somebody else in a wedding. It was a relieving moment for you. That's what I feel. You acted really well. And you, Sneha, the way you responded, that made that conversation literally go in the same flow, and you didn't have to move from there. We really didn't felt any lag in your conversation. Great job. No feedback. Atul and Dharmendra, I'm sure when you are in a bar, when you have somebody who's not drinking, and it's actually a very difficult thing. Even I have also faced that. So, next time onwards, when you're trying to make friends in a bar, definitely make sure that the person is also drinking. One feedback for you. That's what I mentioned to Abhishek also. That was really not required to be seated and have that conversation. Maybe you could have just made use of this stage completely. So you could have moved around Dharmendra, and then Atul could have just gone behind and then started that conversation. So that would have made an impact to your speech. That's all. But overall, great job. Thank you so much. That's all from my side. I don't have anything else. We can move ahead and then go for voting. Please take out your phones.
bit.ly/PH3. For all the guests, the link is the same as the first one, bit.ly/PHTM. Instead of board 1, it's board 2. Put 2 at the end.
How many votes we had till now? 4. Looks like money is not voting. Done. People who are done voting, can you raise your hands, please? Great. Usha, still providing feedback.
I'll stop you on the first.
Done. Thank you so much. With that, I'm handing over the stage to our president, DTM Arundhati Vasu.
By now, everybody knows I have a few variants to my name. I just felt like a politician. Okay, good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. We hope you enjoyed today's meeting, although the weather been very supportive. It's really nice and chilly. The Vedanta's like, I don't know if it's a friend or a foe, but we're going to take it as it comes. Right, so while our Sergeant at Arms compiles the results and lets us know who are the winners, we do 2 things in the meanwhile. We have a couple of announcements for upcoming events, as well as we'd love to hear some guest feedback. So So I'd first like to call upon Toastmaster Wasim. He'll be conducting 2 announcements related to the right hand. So give it up for Toastmaster Wasim.
Good evening, everyone again. So happy to see the energy still at the same level as it started.
Yes.
So I think many of the members would know the Right Hello. Probably I'll just say one-liner for the guest purpose. So the Right Hello is a separate initiative that we are doing as part of specifically Bright Arts, where we are sharing tips to help interpersonal communication skills. Now, so far we have different themes. One in like workspace one-on-one conversations. Last month it was about in social gatherings, and the Convo Master is basically a reflection of that. So that is in a gist about the Right Hello. We also had one announcement last month, but probably that might have gone unnoticed. We wanted to give a book to members on a monthly basis, whatever the book that is recommended for the theme. Last time it happened ad hoc in Club Gavana, so my apologies for that. But this time, the book coincidentally recommended for this month is How to Win Friends and Influence People. So probably it's a giveaway that we will share with one of the members, and then we will keep rotating within the members. So to start with, who wants this book?
Varun is
Okay.
the first one today.
Varun is the first one, so probably we will give it to him. The second announcement is something I'm excited about is the theme for the next month of the Right Hello. So one correlation I found was, if most of it, like we had a survey at the beginning about the overall interpersonal communication thing. When I tried to correlate the answers across different people and the different scenarios that they faced, it was interesting to see that people who had lesser confidence in one specific area reflected the same in other areas as well. And especially if people are not so confident at home or family, they were also not so confident at social gatherings or workspace. So the theme for the next month is improving interpersonal communication in home or family. So it is a little tedious topic, but we will see how much ever we can benefit all of you with the tips that we can come up with. So looking forward from next week. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Wasim, for sharing that. So, like we all heard, the next month's Right Hello theme is circulating, or it's going to be around home and family. And often we say that a lot of good practices actually start at home. So can good conversation. Sometimes we overlook and we think that conversation is only supposed to be in a social setup or at workspace. But having done several sessions over the past so many months, what I've come to figure out is the biggest challenge a lot of times people face is around having great conversations at home. And so that's what next month's Right Hello will focus on. Now, a couple of other announcements very quickly. So first up, next week, we have a icebreaker speech marathon. So it's not just a speech marathon, but it's going to be Vice President Education. I'm going to get 10 icebreakers, 8 icebreakers, and some underway to be convinced. So let's hope 8 to 10 icebreakers. I absolutely request all the members, firstly, to join the meeting because it's very rare that you get to witness the start of 8 members' journey. That's not something you witness every other day. And also for our members who've done a few speeches now, this is a great opportunity to play the role of an evaluator because these are all going to be icebreaker speeches. So watch out for the slots that will open on Monday and you can opt to be the evaluator. That's the next thing. The last announcement for today, Toastmasters International has 3 membership building awards that it bestows on clubs across through a program here. So one that's coming up now, it's called Smedley Toastmasters Award, where if we add 5 new members in August and September, we become eligible for it. There are two like this, two more like this called Talk Up Toastmaster and Beat the Clock. So Talk Up Toastmaster happens around the time of Feb and March, whereas Beat the Clock happens in May and June. So I'm very, very happy and thrilled to announce that Bright Hearts Toastmasters won the Beat the Clock Toastmasters Award for the period of May. Thank you. For the benefit of our guests, Bright Hearts Toastmasters is a Toastmasters club within the district of Karnataka and Kerala. And we very recently achieved the highest educational award that is given by Toastmasters International, which is the status of being a President's Distinguished Club. Alongside being a President's Distinguished Club, which was our first award from Toastmasters International, Beat the Clock is our second award from Toastmasters International, to many more for Bright Hearts. Because the bright way is the right way. We missed a part of that in the beginning, didn't we? Apologies for the delay, but I'm going to quickly try and get a few feedback from our guests, especially the ones we didn't hear from in the beginning of the meeting. So Dharmendra, I'd like to call you upon if you can share your thoughts of how you like the meeting today. Well, I'm not sure how you feel about
Most of my colleagues call it Dharma.
Dharma.
Because Dharma is full of.
Yeah.
But few people like to call Dharma because they're correlated with the solidity. So famous dialect might be Direct Kutte. Sorry. So this is my second day here, and I'd like to thank you everyone for being so. I really love the lively vibes here, and I see when I entered here, it's especially I'm wearing the name Nivedita. Next time I do.
Tarun. Neville.
So I first day also I saw, and second today also I'm seeing whenever any speaker is coming, he's shouting and cheering up. So like it encourages us, like when sitting there it feels good, but when you come, I feel like they're shivering the scaredness, there's something inside you biting you, like why they're going there, what when we do. And when someone's cheering up, I say, okay, let's do it. Everyone is saying. So I'm getting that encouragement from you, and then the guys are getting that is very positive. And as again, the word of the day, repo. If I am in this repo environment, like for connecting with you guys, I'm feeling good actually. In fact, when I never got a chance to speak on a podium, or not having that. Sometimes even I get put in the chance and never got that courage to go there and speak. You know, it might be happening with everyone. Like when you're sitting in a chair, you're mumbling a lot of things. But when I go there, I speak this, I speak that, I speak that phrase. I speak that phrase. Because when I come to that, but I'm glad. Instead of the first line, you start speaking the second line, you start end. So, what in my experience, like I left all the notebook and I said, whatever I feel, I say from deep inside, because that will be my true speech. Like that will be my truth, what I am, not something reading somewhere and telling somewhere. So, by this age, I also feel like the life experience I was having, I was able to speak. Now, when I'm given this opportunity to stand here, I see that everyone is like, have like, a different perspective and supporting each and everyone. So I'm getting also that, okay, let's do it. I'm here at the right place where I can be better to, or be better of myself in terms of communication skills. Well, this is the one thing I'm liking here, that being here and being supported by everyone, I'm really truly lucky to be here. at this point. So definitely I'd like to join here and I encourage my friends and everyone to be here.
Thank you very much, Dharmendra, for that kind feedback. I think you really reiterated most of our journeys where we all started at a point when we would come on stage not knowing what to say and would go back and sit on that chair and think, oh my God, there were 100 things I could have said. So it's a journey that all of us have gone through. It's so glad to hear that you found this environment supportive and encouraging. So thank you for that feedback. Rohit, shall we have you next?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll share the same sentiments as Abdul, right? So, first of all, great speech. I mean, coming for the first time as a guest, and then the way,
Dharmendra.
yeah, the presentation, same thought process also going into my mind, right? Let's say, how would I end up speaking or whatever I'm thinking, right? So, I mean, that's the journey that everyone takes as far. I mean, that's a whole part of it. And the best part is that how the whole environment is so encouraging, right? So nobody is there to judge, but everyone is to learn and kind of grow ourselves. And especially on communication skills. And I also liked about how you are touching not just the one part of it, right? The interpersonal communication skills, right? So a lot of things kind of stems from there. That's a big thing. And then again, which Wasim also mentioned, right? Which it's also starts from the family. Probably, let's say, the person who is more introverts, it doesn't come naturally to them. So it's more of like a kind of come out of shell and speak. So I think those are a lot of good things. And yeah, I'm looking forward to join them as a member. Right? So very excited and yeah, and it's such a great platform to kind of. I think definitely helps us to grow ourselves, not just your communication, but networking is one aspect of it where we are in that what you call walk of life, right? We are in corporates. I think it is definitely a step.
For sharing that. It's amazing to see how observant our guests are as well. For you to observe that we're doing something on interpersonal communication and appreciate fellow guests who've come and spoken today says a lot. Very, very impressed about the type of speeches we had from our guests and also the feedback. We meet every Sunday at 4 p.m. at the same place but the opposite room. So feel free to stop by and join us anytime. And looking forward to having all of you all as a part of the Bright Hearts family. So thank you for joining us today. On that note, we will move on to the ribbon winners for today's meeting. Wait, do I have all of it? Yes. Right, starting off with the best auxiliary role player for meeting number 42. And the winner is Toastmaster Sneha Masal. Sneha, I almost felt that this role was designed for Sneha. That's how amazingly you pulled out those sketches and loved how she made use of color and the sketches were so accurate, so creative and very cute. And not so tough to guess as well, which was amazing. So I think the sketcher did a better job than the guessers did it. Thank you, Sneha. Brilliantly done. And many congratulations, Madan, Tarun, and Akash for playing a great role as auxiliary role players. Best table topic speaker. We had amazing conversations. Firstly, kudos to our convo master. I think I love the scenarios. So the best table topic speaker for this meeting is Toastmaster Pooja Parekh. So Pooja, firstly, many congratulations. I think this is your second meeting in a row, and let's go for a hat trick, Pooja, is what I would suggest. But when Abhishek gave the topic and very reluctantly asked, who amongst the two of you would like to be the auntie? Pooja was ready. There's no doubt it's me. But Pooja, looks like you played that role in the character. I loved how you were advising the enactments. Brilliantly done. But what stood out for me is I had seen you the first time you walked into the meeting, Pooja, and did a table topic. The confidence that has come in you today after a couple of meetings, very inspiring. Very well done. Right, moving on to the best evaluator for meeting number 42, and the winner is Toastmaster Arna Gupta. Yeah, I'm observing how 3 is not turning out to be a lucky number, and the third chair just dies out. But Arna, many congratulations firstly. I love how articulate your evaluation is. Your points are clear, very helpful for the speaker. I'm sure Sayuj would agree. Very clearly articulated, nicely demonstrated. And the confidence that Arna has doesn't matter who the speaker is, what the project is, she knows what to evaluate. That's great growth, Arna. Many congratulations. Best role player for meeting number 42 goes to Nivedita Murli. Nivedita acted like she was all surprised at the result, but I know she was always preparing for this. Nivedita, very well done. Firstly, thank you for confusing all of us in the team. I'm sure some people who walked in late, like Anmol, are still blind as to what the team is. But I love the creativity that you brought in. The riddles were amazing. You stood on the theme. You kept the meeting flow very smooth. But absolute kudos to you for the technical difficulties that happened. And usually people would panic when you prepare the slides, you don't know what to do. But you were absolutely unhinged. You went for it all out. So very, very well done. First time Toastmaster of the day. Many congratulations, Toastmaster. Ladies and gentlemen, the best speaker for meeting number 42 is Toastmaster Neville Shah. Neville, you're the only lucky man among today, so very deserving. Well, he is truly a bachelor, right? But Neville, coming to your speech, firstly, I think we spoke about this, but always personifying something that's not a person but an object is extremely difficult. And I felt like for those 5 to 7 minutes, Neville actually became the 10 rupees note. Well, he's worth $1 million. 10 rupee note, right? Amazing demonstration of what a great speech looks like. Loving your clothes and the variety you're bringing to the stage. So many, many congratulations, Neville. Let's give it up for all your work. Thank you, Risha. Oh, yeah. Please show what I tried to It's fine. Right, let's go. What should you take a water?
HBI.
Have you got everything? Yeah, all right. Thank you. Usha, can you take a
On Abhishek's request.
Yeah, can you just take a portrait? All right, thank you, Usha. Thank you and many congratulations to all the winners and also to our associate BPPR Usha. Clicked more pictures than a wedding. But good PR comes with loads of pictures, right? So, yeah, I love how Sneha is concentrating on sketch. Sneha, you should have just asked Usha, you should just ask Sneha to sketch this picture. She would have done a bad job, but thank you. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, today we spoke about four who fosters. Great selection of theme, irrespective of whether how well we understood it in the beginning. Towards the end of it, we understood. But what I'd leave all of you all with is that friends come into life by choice, but they stay in your life through efforts. Friends are probably those people that you tend to take most granted in life because there's no obligation, there's no commitment, there's no legal agreement, there's no blood relation, and that is why friends are often taken for granted. But ladies and gentlemen, when you make a choice, you've got to stick by it. You've chosen your friends, so stick by them, make those efforts, and keep those friends in your life forever. Wishing all of you all a happy Friendship Day once again. And on that note, I hereby declare meeting 42. So,